In the landscape of human emotion, few experiences are as universally challenging and yet potentially transformative as anxiety. Often viewed as an impediment to success, anxiety has been traditionally cast as an enemy to be vanquished, a barrier to be overcome. Yet beneath this common perception lies a profound truth. Anxiety, when properly understood and channeled, can become one of our most powerful catalysts for growth and achievement. To fully grasp the relationship between anxiety and human excellence, we must turn to one of history's most profound thinkers on the subject, Søren Kierkegaard. Writing in 19th century Denmark, Kierkegaard offered revolutionary insights into anxiety that continue to illuminate our understanding of human potential. His perspective helps us recognize anxiety not merely as a psychological state, but as an existential condition that points toward our highest possibilities. Kierkegaard introduced the concept of anxiety as the dizziness of freedom. This powerful metaphor captures something essential about the relationship between anxiety and achievement. Just as dizziness occurs when we stand at a height and contemplate the space before us, anxiety arises when we confront the vast expanse of our own potential. The very possibility of achievement creates a kind of existential vertigo, a simultaneous attraction toward and fear of our own capabilities. The paradox of possibility. Kierkegaard's insights reveal a fascinating paradox at the heart of human achievement. The greater our potential for excellence, the more intense our anxiety becomes. This isn't a sign of weakness or inadequacy, but rather a natural response to the weight of possibility. When we stand at the threshold of a significant achievement, whether it's launching a business, creating a work of art, or pursuing scientific discovery, we experience anxiety precisely because we recognize the magnitude of what's possible. This Kierkegaardian understanding helps us reframe the anxiety we feel before important undertakings. The trembling we experience isn't a warning to step back, but rather a sign that we're engaging with meaningful possibilities. It's the existential equivalent of a compass pointing toward what matters most to us. The leap of faith in achievement. Kierkegaard's famous concept of the leap of faith has profound implications for understanding how we move from anxiety to achievement. While Kierkegaard originally developed this idea in a religious context, its application to human achievement is equally powerful. Every significant accomplishment requires a kind of leap, a movement from the known into the unknown, from the secure into the uncertain. This leap isn't blind or irrational. Rather, it's a considered movement that acknowledges both the impossibility of absolute certainty and the necessity of action. When we pursue great achievements, we must eventually move beyond what can be guaranteed or proven. We must act in the face of uncertainty, guided by what Kierkegaard would call our subjective truth, our deep internal conviction about what is meaningful and worthwhile. Authenticity in achievement. Kierkegaard's emphasis on authenticity offers crucial insights for understanding genuine achievement. He argued that truth is found not in abstract systems or societal conventions, but in the individual's passionate commitment to what holds personal significance. This perspective helps us distinguish between authentic achievement and mere success as defined by external standards. True achievement, viewed through this lens, isn't just about reaching predetermined benchmarks or meeting societal expectations. Instead, it involves aligning our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. The anxiety we feel in pursuing such achievements is qualitatively different from the stress of trying to meet external standards. It's the anxiety of authenticity, the tension that arises when we strive to bring our unique possibilities into reality. The role of subjectivity. Kierkegaard's insistence on the importance of subjectivity offers valuable guidance for navigating the path to achievement. While objective knowledge and skills are certainly important, The most significant achievements arise from our subjective engagement with our work. This subjective dimension includes our personal passion, our unique perspective, and our individual way of approaching challenges. Understanding this helps us recognize that anxiety often arises precisely when we're most deeply engaged with our work. When we bring our full selves to a task, when we invest not just our skills but our personal meaning and values, we naturally experience anxiety. This anxiety signals that we're operating at the frontier of our potential, where objective certainty ends and personal commitment begins. The movement towards synthesis. Kierkegaard's philosophy suggests that true achievement involves a kind of synthesis, a bringing together of opposing forces. Just as he saw human existence as a synthesis of the finite and infinite, the temporal and eternal, we can understand achievement as a synthesis of preparation and spontaneity, knowledge and uncertainty, skill and inspiration. This synthesis isn't achieved by eliminating anxiety, but by moving through it consciously. The anxiety we feel in pursuing significant achievements is part of the dynamic tension that makes excellence possible. It's the space where our preparation meets opportunity, where our skills encounter new challenges, where our knowledge faces the unknown. Throughout human history, our relationship with anxiety has been complex and evolving. Ancient philosophers spoke of it as a divine warning, while medieval thinkers saw it as a spiritual test. The modern era, with its emphasis on productivity and performance, has often reduced anxiety to a mere psychological obstacle. However, this simplified view fails to capture the deep connection between anxiety and human potential. The nature of achievement anxiety. Achievement anxiety manifests as a unique form of psychological tension that arises when we stand at the threshold of potential greatness. It is distinct from general anxiety or clinical conditions, representing instead a specific response to the possibility of significant accomplishment. This anxiety emerges from our awareness of our own potential and the gap between where we are and where we could be. The biological foundations of achievement anxiety. Our bodies respond to the prospect of achievement in fascinating and complex ways. When we stand on the precipice of potential greatness, our sympathetic nervous system activates, triggering what scientists call the challenge response. Unlike the fight or flight response associated with threat, this challenge response actually enhances our cognitive and physical capabilities. Our heart rate increases, but in a pattern that supports sustained performance. Blood flow to our brain optimizes, particularly in regions associated with complex decision-making and creative problem-solving. Understanding this biological framework helps us recognize that what we often interpret as anxiety isn't a warning to retreat, but rather our body's sophisticated preparation for excellence. The trembling hands of a surgeon before a groundbreaking procedure, the racing heart of an artist before revealing a new work, the quickened breath of an entrepreneur before a crucial presentation. These are not signs of inadequacy, but rather the physical manifestation of our potential being activated. The psychology of peak performance. Within the realm of peak performance psychology, anxiety plays a crucial role in what researchers call optimal arousal theory. This framework suggests that peak performance occurs not in a state of complete calm, but rather at an optimal level of psychological and physiological arousal. Too little anxiety leaves us underprepared and disengaged. Too much can indeed be paralyzing. But in the sweet spot between these extremes lies the state where human excellence flourishes. Consider the experience of elite athletes moments before competition. Studies have shown that the highest performers don't experience less anxiety than their peers. Rather, they have learned to interpret their anxiety differently. They understand that the butterfly sensation in their stomach, the heightened awareness of their surroundings, and the slight tremor in their muscles are not warning signs of impending failure, but rather indicators that their body and mind are preparing for exceptional performance. Historical examples of anxiety-driven achievement. Throughout history, many of humanity's greatest achievements have been fueled by a form of productive anxiety. Marie Curie's relentless pursuit of understanding radioactivity was driven by an anxious awareness of time's passage and the magnitude of her potential discovery. Einstein's development of the theory of relativity was spurred by an almost obsessive anxiety about reconciling seemingly contradictory physical phenomena. Martin Luther King Jr.'s powerful oratory was enhanced by the productive tension he felt before each speech, knowing the weight his words carried for the civil rights movement. The role of tension in creative breakthrough. Creativity, at its core, emerges from a state of productive tension. When we examine the creative process closely, we find that breakthrough moments often arise not from comfortable certainty, but from the anxious space between knowing and not knowing. This creative anxiety serves as a catalyst, pushing us beyond conventional thinking and into new territories of possibility. Artists, inventors, and innovators throughout history have spoken of the necessary discomfort that precedes breakthrough. This anxiety creates a kind of psychological pressure that, when properly channeled, can crack open new possibilities and perspectives. It's the mental equivalent of the pressure that transforms carbon into diamonds, uncomfortable, yet essential for the creation of something precious and enduring. Transforming anxiety into action. The key to harnessing anxiety's potential lies not in attempting to eliminate it, but in learning to transform it into productive action. This transformation begins with a fundamental shift in perspective, seeing anxiety not as an enemy to be vanquished, but as an ally to be understood and directed. This process involves several key practices. First, we must learn to recognize the specific quality of achievement anxiety. Unlike general anxiety, which often manifests as vague worry about undefined threats, achievement anxiety has a sharp, focused quality. It points towards specific possibilities and potential accomplishments. This recognition allows us to begin using anxiety as a compass, pointing us toward opportunities for growth and achievement. The practice of productive discomfort. Developing a relationship with anxiety requires regular practice in staying with discomfort rather than avoiding it. This doesn't mean seeking out anxiety for its own sake, but rather learning to remain engaged and focused even as anxiety rises. Like a muscle that grows stronger through resistance training, our capacity to work with anxiety expands through conscious practice. This practice involves creating controlled environments where we can experience and work with achievement anxiety in measured doses. Public speaking clubs, competitive sports, artistic performances. These venues provide opportunities to develop our anxiety management skills in contexts where the stakes are real but not overwhelming. Building resilience through anxiety. As we develop our capacity to work with anxiety, we begin to build a more robust form of resilience. This isn't the resilience of avoiding difficulty, but rather the resilience that comes from knowing we can engage with challenge effectively, even when anxiety is present. This type of resilience becomes self-reinforcing. Each experience of working successfully with anxiety builds confidence in our ability to do so again. The integration of anxiety and excellence. The ultimate goal isn't to become free from anxiety, but rather to integrate it into our pursuit of excellence. This integration allows us to access the enhanced awareness, increased energy, and heightened focus that anxiety can provide while maintaining the clarity and judgment necessary for peak performance. Conclusion. When we understand anxiety's role in human achievement, we begin to see it not as an obstacle to greatness, but as an essential component of the journey toward excellence. The path to significant achievement isn't found in the absence of anxiety, but in learning to work with it effectively. By reframing our relationship with anxiety, we can access its hidden power to fuel growth, creativity, and exceptional performance. In embracing anxiety as a catalyst for achievement, we don't eliminate the discomfort it brings, but we transform its meaning. What once seemed like a barrier becomes a bridge to our highest potential. As we face the challenges of our own pursuits, may we remember that the anxiety we feel isn't a sign to retreat, but rather an invitation to advance toward our greatest possibilities.